Okay, hello everybody and welcome in today's podcast episode. Come again with me, Nathan, as your host, and today join me here is Dr. Y. Chungkain as a senior lecturer from the Faculty of Business and Management from University Kebangsaan Malaysia. Hello and welcome, Dr. Y.
Hello, Nathaniel. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me today. Hi, everyone online. How are you? I'm Y from UKM.
Okay, so Dr. Y actually just come from the Everest event just now, and he talked about the human capital and the importance of human capital, especially in youth collaboration in Asian countries. So I think that will be our podcast topic today. Mainly will be focused on human capital.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So for from the start, we have to understand first what is human capital. What is human capital in youth audience, youth people, how human capital is affecting youth people. And let me ask you this simple question, actually. How would you describe good human capital in um, youth human capital development in a way that youth people can understand, young people can understand what is human capital?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. Human capital, yeah. Um, it's different from the physical capital. When we talk about physical capital, it means that the building, the machines, the computers, all those are the physical capital. Now, we're not just talking about physical capital, the role of physical capital in affecting the economic growth, but at the same time, we also have to be concerned with how important the quality of the labor, the quality of the workers in affecting the economic growth. So that's why when we talk about human capital, it's more about the way for us to improve the productivity of the workers so that the workers will become more productive and the quality of the workers have to be improved as a catalyst for enhancing the economic growth. So if you were to ask me what is the meaning of human capital, yeah, put it simply, it's actually an asset for us. It is a human asset, and that human asset actually can improve the labor productivity, and in turn, the labor market outcomes such as the wage, the promotion, the employability can be enhanced.
So is human capital is an important part for for building a society between young people, youth audience, youth people. Is human capital is a critical part of building a successful young society?
Well, of course, yes. Human capital is important, especially for the young people, the youngsters like you. Yeah. At your young age, we guess that now you're studying in the university. You are actually investing in the education right now. Investing in the education is one form of human capital investment. So now just imagine once you graduate from the universities, you'll be entering into the job market, bringing along with you the set of knowledge, the skills you have learned in the university. So that's why this is what we call as a human capital. You're going to be a high-skilled worker later once you've graduated from the university, bringing along the skills with you, and you're going to be more productive. Okay, so that is the human capital. So that's why we say that the human capital is important. It is important for the youth because it can actually help the country to grow and to achieve the sustainable economic growth.
So I get that human capital is more about investing to the human to the society to building a better human capital, right? So especially in ASEAN, I see that there's many barriers, many challenges for building a better human capital. So what do you think is the most difficult things to most difficult challenge to overcome in terms of building a human capital, and why? So why that's become a challenge, and how do overcome it?
All right. Now, this is a very good question. When we talk about the human capital theory, we talk about the demand and the supply. There is a demand side of the human capital investment as well as the supply side of the human capital investment. Now, the supply side of the human capital investment depends on the availability of the resources. For example, if you come from a well-affluent family, a rich family, of course, there's no problem for you to invest in the education because you have the financial availability, you have the financial resources. But for those people, not many people is as lucky as you. All right. So some people may be very much financially constrained. especially for those who stay in the rural area. So one of the challenges for human capital investment or the barriers to the human capital investment is the availability of the educational fund, the availability of educational fund.
Okay.
All right, so that is the barrier. Another barrier is our own ability. That comes from the demand side of human capital investment. If you have the ability to learning, so that is actually the determinant for human capital. From the supply side, it actually goes with the availability of financial resources.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So before you you mentioned that education is part of ways to building a better human capital, right?
Exactly. Yes.
So Indonesia right now actually have a free education.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, 12 years of free education for young people in Indonesia, kids Indonesia. But just not me, but other people can see that Indonesian doesn't have the best human capital you can expect from those 12 years of free educations. So what do you think happened in there? What do you think can change? Because our government actually gives the free education and actually supporting the human capital in Indonesia to building a better human capital. So what do you think? What's wrong? What's wrong with our young audience, our young people?
Okay, I wouldn't say it's something wrong with the young people. I'm speaking from the perspective of a layman. Now, of course, this is the taken because your government invests the 12 years of the compulsory education or free education for the people. That is a very good move. Of course, when the government invests in the education, it actually ensures the availability of financial resources. It makes education free of charge to everyone. Now, the basic education is very important because the research have really shown that the returns to the basic education is very important. Because if you build a good foundation, it's very important for you to move on to the next level of education. At least you are literate. You are literate. Okay, thanks to your government, because your government offers the 12 years of free education. So this is to increase the literacy of the Indonesian student. Now, when you talk about the barriers, maybe it takes time for a country to develop the human capital. It takes time, especially for the country which is the countries which are trying to enhance human capital availability. That is a challenge for the government. So the government has to ensure that there is a sufficient fund to be allocated to the educational sector. Just like what I mentioned early this morning, the government spending on the education is also an important concern. Yeah. So if the government is able to spend the money on the education, that's where the country can sustain the economic growth. Now, the problem is some of the countries may have the priority. They may have some their priority may not be put in the education. Their priority may be put on some other things, like, for example, the infrastructure improvement.
Yeah.
All right.
That's my next question.
Yeah.
So what do you think our government should do? What focus should we do to make a better human capital? That's because Indonesia actually right now have so many young people, so many workforce to be working, and yet many of them doesn't have the qualifications. Many of them doesn't even can read. Many of them is illiterate actually. So what do you think our government should focus to building a better human capital?
Yeah, I think the problem that you mentioned just now mainly happened in the rural area, not the big city. I think the big city, the human capital investment in the big city has been done very efficiently and effectively. So I guess that your government has been doing something good, all this while for the people, the youngsters in the urban area. It's just that maybe the youngsters or the youth in the urban area is a little bit left behind. So I think the way forward will be to reduce the economic inequality. How to reduce the economic inequality? Therefore, the government has to implement the strategies, human capital investment strategies, leveraging on the youth like you. Okay, now you're studying in university. I guess that the university should send youngsters like you to the rural area. To give a tuition, additional class, to the student in the rural area in order to reduce the income, the educational inequality.
Yeah, so
you can contribute. Youth can contribute.
So young people can contribute by come to rural area and teach young kids, teach the kids there to be more
Exactly. Believe me, youth is energetic. Youth is energetic. So that's why you can go to take an extra mile, go to the urban rural area and try to teach the kids in the rural area.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Some might say that building human capital is investment.
Yes.
And that is a long-term investment that the return from the human capital is gonna be it's long. The human capital investment is long process.
It is a long process, far into the future before you can realize the returns to the education. It's far into the future.
Yeah, so for the short term, actually, what can we do to help to be a better human capital to help our nations? As young people, what can we do to help our nations in the short term to helping our nations to build a better human capital to to build a better human capital? What can young people do?
Like you said just now, because the human capital investment is a long process. Human capital investment is very long. So like how many years you study in the university?
I studied for 4 years.
4 years. And before you enter into the university, how many years have you spent in the primary school and secondary school?
12 years.
Yes, exactly. 12 years. It's a 12-year free education, like you mentioned just now. That means human capital investment in education is an ongoing process. There's no shortcut to this human capital investment.
So we can take a shortcut.
Yeah, if you really want me to talk about the shortcut, I think maybe you have to focus on something which is really, really highly sought after right now. For example, we're talking about digital technology right now. This is something very new, and it's very important for a country to propel itself to the next level. Now, if we notice the importance of digital technology, all right, so maybe the artificial intelligence, the big data analysis, this is something that you can pick up easily if you're given a training. So that's why if you want a shortcut, I think it will be sending the student or sending the university student to attend the training related to digital technology. I guess that will be the shortcut, right?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So young people, university actually can study more about new technology.
On their own initiative. Yeah, this is something that can be easily picked up. Yeah, it doesn't have to go through the long process.
Okay, related to this. What can school, university, maybe government, maybe even parents do to help their kids, in the more daily basis program, daily basis thing, to be a better human, to be a better, to prepare more to be a better human capital.
Yeah, to be well prepared. I guess that I think the family shouldn't, the parents shouldn't entrust the responsibility of teaching the children to the school.
Okay.
Because the parents also do their part. Yeah, the parents also do their part in imparting the knowledge, in enhancing the human capital. Okay, among the children. So that's why the school and the family, the school and the parents should work hand in hand to enhance the human capital accumulation among their kids, among the school children. So that's why in this case, there should be a collaboration. There should be a network between the school and also, well, what I mean is this: the school has to develop the relationship, a good rapport to be developed with the family. All right. For example, to give the feedback to their parents about the learning process of their kids, so that the parents actually are able to know the progress of learning. If there is any anything that happened in between, so maybe it can be detected, it can be identified, and the corrective measures can be taken immediately. So it actually requires the collaboration between the parents and the school. Okay.
Okay. So the collaboration is actually the main thing to. The important thing to do.
That's why the mutual understanding between the school and the family and the parents is the key to developing the human capital hand in hand with the parents and also the school.
Okay, so related to this collaboration topic. So youth collaboration actually, youth collaboration, I noticed that many youth collaboration programs start with a big funding, a big excitement. Many things to do at the same time. The excitement, the the fame is growing big.
Yeah.
But over time, how can we maintain the same exposure, the same level of excitement for young people to help to do a collaboration to help their friends, to help any people to become a better human capital? How we keep the same excitement level, keep the same fame?
All right. I think the support should come from the government.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
The support should come from in order to increase or to raise the awareness of the importance of human capital investment in education, in training, in whatever form of the human capital investment, the awareness should be raised from the government. That means the government has to do something to implement the strategies that can actually raise the awareness among people about how important human capital investment is. Only by raising the awareness can the people be certain about the importance of human capital. And the next thing to do is to invest in human capital. Now, another thing is the youngsters. The young people also have to do their part. They also have to do their part to spread the news about the importance of human capital. So they have to participate in the human capital investment program on their own initiative. Now, given the support from the government, the youngsters will also have to take their responsibility or take the initiative to join the activities that is specially designed for them. So that's why I guess that the collaboration should be twofold. There should be the collaboration and the awareness raised up from the government, and also the awareness raised up from the youngsters as well.
Okay, so awareness and support actually.
Yeah, the support from the government as well.
Yeah, okay.
It seems like there's a question online. Shall we take that question?
Is there any question online?
Is there any question online? Or we take the question later. So
okay, you can take the question later. Okay. So I believe that you work with many young people, right?
Yes.
Like just like me,
You are
many
young
students.
You're young people.
You're working with many young people.
Yeah.
Maybe in UCAM also.
Yes.
So if you notice what young people most struggles with by building themselves, to improve themselves, what young people have the most struggle with?
I would say the confidence among the youngsters. Yeah, the confidence. Now, for example, it is from the school that we can develop the soft skill and the hard skill as well. Now, hard skill is something that we can learn through our lecture, all right? But the soft skill is something more challenging. Okay, you may not be able to learn the soft skill from the book. So that's why you have to expose yourself with this soft skill learning environment by participating in the school student activity like Everest. Everest, it is a good platform for the student to pick up their leadership skills, all right, communication skill, interpersonal skills, and time management skill, as well as the risk management skills. So that's why now I think that is a challenge for the student to expose themselves to this kind of skills, and then maybe they are not confident in embracing all these skills. Now, what my suggestion is, the student should have the guts, they have the courage, they have to believe that they can actually, they have to trust. They must have a faith in themselves.
Oh, so the confidence in
they must be confident in picking up a new skill and apply that skill in their daily activities.
So what mindset? What mindset do young people must have to become a better self, to improve themselves?
They must be a risk taker. They have to be adventurous. They must be a risk taker, and they must be a goal-getter. So that means that once they are determined, they have already set the target. They have to achieve that target. For example, I want to pick up this new skill. That is the objective. Okay. I want to pick up the leadership skills. Now I want to improve my leadership skill. Now, how do you improve the leadership skill? Of course, you're not going to tell people, I want to improve the leadership skill without doing anything. That's why
you have to
really take up the activity like what you're doing right now. Okay, you're involved in Everest. You are actually trying to learn the leadership skill and to exercise and to apply that leadership skill. So that's why it is the initiative coming from the student.
So young people actually have to take the initiative to do it themselves.
Yes.
Okay. So it looks like we have some questions from the audience.
Okay, there is a question from Bella Davina.
Okay, how can Indonesia effectively develop high quality human capital through education when its national curriculum frequently changes? So one thing in Indonesia, our curriculum is changing a lot. If the government changes, the curriculum for education is also changed. So how can young people adapt to that? So and what government can do to maybe fix the curriculum to make it not constantly change, or something like that. How can Indonesian young people effectively building a better human capital if something that like that happen frequently?
Well, I guess that regardless of the shift in the political party or the political power, so I guess that the education agenda is here to stay, no matter who is in the government right now. So even though there is a shift in the political leadership, it's very obvious all around the world. What is important is the education agenda should be here to stay. Now, the education agenda is that we want to develop the high quality human capital. This is generally the same regardless of who is going to be in the administration. So I guess that the previous administration or the current administration, it doesn't matter as long as the agenda is still the same. The objective is still the same. The objective is to develop the high quality human capital, and this objective is here to stay. Now, if that's the case, of course, the new government, whichever it is, the new government has to focus on how to reduce the gap between what the university is producing right now and what the labor market is requiring right now. So, of course, we have to get the stakeholder from the industry to join us to share their insights of what's important nowadays in the job market, so that this participation is ongoing regardless of who's in the government, who's in the administration, right? So I guess that what is important is the objective, the mission of education should be clear, regardless of who the government is.
So the objective should be clear.
The objective should be clear that we want
to helping a better human, to helping to improve kids, young people. What the most important thing to have in those curriculum?
I'm not sure about what is existing, what is the current, but I guess that now we're not just talking about the hard skill. Like I mentioned just now, the hard skill is something that can be easily picked up if you have a time, and if you sign up for the training, you can easily pick up that hard skill. You can learn the hard skill from the school, from the university. But at the same time, what is important is the soft skill, or we call it as a generic skill. The generic skill is a transferable skill, the skill that can be transferred to anywhere, any industry, wherever you are. For example, communication skill. Communication skill is the generic skill. Now, just tell me, is there any company that doesn't need any communication skill? Computer skill. Is there any company that does not need any computer skill? So the computer skill and the communication skill are the generic skill that can be transferred anywhere. So that's why I guess that maybe the university has to expose the student with a more weight on the soft skill development.
Okay, so soft skill is actually important in our curriculum.
To integrate into, I'm not sure whether it has already been integrated into your study, but I guess that if it has not, so maybe this is a platform and avenue for you, a room for improvement.
Okay. Finally, I have these questions.
Yes.
What is 3 most important skills for young people to have a better you have to improve themselves to help our nations.
Okay, let's talk about a hard skill. The hard skill, of course, is going to be something related to the digital technology, the artificial intelligence, the big data analysis, the data management, the data you the so how do you use the latest technology that is related to your field? For example, if you're an economist, so what is the statistical package or the statistical tool you have to master? So you have to keep yourself updated with the development in that field or maybe the latest technique. So this is the hard skill. All right, so AI skills, big data analysis, okay, and the ability to develop your own software. I mean the website page. All right, I think that will be the hard skill. Of course, the another hard skill is the cloud computing. The cloud you must be able to use the cloud computing for your daily work. All right, now let's talk about the soft skill. I guess that the soft skill maybe the negotiation skill. Negotiating skill.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to be able to negotiate with people because we have to meet with the customers, our clients every day. So that's when it's important. Not just speaking from the perspective of ourselves, but at the same time, we have to have the empathy to our the people whom we are speaking to. So that's why we have to strike the balance of to achieve the interests of both sides. So the negotiation skill is important. Next is about the ability to learn. The ability to learn, yes, the ability to learn is an important soft skill because now the world keeps on changing, the labor market keeps on changing.
Yeah,
Every day we are going to take on a new
we have
skill.
to can adapt to
You
new
have to
thing.
be able to adapt. You need to have the ability to learn something new. Remember, there's a term called learn, unlearn, and relearn. You have learned something, you have to forget something you have learned before, give it over, get it over, drop it, and then to pick up something new. That is called learn, unlearn, and relearn something new.
Okay.
That is the ability to adapt to the latest development. So it's called the ability to learn.
Okay.
Communication skill, ability to learning, the negotiation skill, the interpersonal skill, time management skill as well. Time management, it's more than three. It's more than three. Okay. Yes.
So So it looks like we have questions here. Okay. In your opinion, which country education's curriculum best supports the development, and why is that?
Well, I hope I don't need to answer this question because if I were to mention which country, it's very personal. Let's do it this way. Which country's education curriculum best supports the development of human capital? I guess that the countries that prioritize the development of human capital, the countries that try to bridge between the school and the labor market is the best curriculum that we have to learn from. Okay, whichever it is, I'm sure that many countries in this row actually wish to bridge between what is offered in the school and what is really required in the job market. As long as the curriculum serves as a bridge between the school and the labor market requirement, that is supposed to be the best education curriculum that we have to learn from. Yes.
Okay. I think that's all for today podcast episode. Okay. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
okay. And lastly, we have to do for podcast. I say APTV podcast
Entirely inspired.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. All the best to everyone.